interesting because I think my assumption was without phase rush, his bad matchups would get worse. But I guess the extra trading power has helped mitigate some of that early pressure.
Yeah, it seems like it has. As Career said hello to me today.
Oh.
Yeah, we were walking by. He said hello.
That's very nice.
So I said hello.
He
does have a mask on. Maybe he's
Iwan
feeling a little bit
Sirkus?
under the weather today.
Semoga.
But he's got a big matchup, obviously.
Don't you want to see DK win?
Area specifically, as it's this guy's birthday. He wants a D+ win for his birthday present. And also a Cloud Templar's autograph, signature. This is Karia's nephew. He's come down to watch Karia once again.
That's sweet.
Maybe we'll be seeing him in the LCK in some odd years.
Maybe, you know, obviously.
So this is apparently Bae Junho, who is on the Korea national soccer team and also Stoke City FC. And he is here supporting T1.
Stoke City, that's from the country I come from.
Asalkan Karir jangan main Bard. Kita bisa menang kalau Karir tidak main Bard.
To support Karia is what the fan sign says. So that's pretty sweet.
Tiwan sekarang lebih ngeri daripada Fakernya. Bener sih. Well, kontraknya masih panjang lagi Karia.
They oftentimes make those signs where it's like, I flew all the way from Australia.
Yeah, you
Tapi
flew all the way
Faker
from
gak
New
kalah
York.
serem dah.
Who's this guy?
Oh, I know him.
Reckless!
He doesn't have a sign that says he came all the way
Reckless in
from...
Korea. Mantan supportnya T1 guys.
Yeah, Reckless here
Reckless
supporting T1 and Smash. Smash on D+ Kia, so maybe a little bit torn, but he is wearing the T1 jacket, so I think...
Well, you know, he was on a T1, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, the way you see it is either way.
Kontribusi gue seperti kontribusi Reckless di 2024.
What if T+ Kia wins, but Smash doesn't have a great...
Reckless comeback jadi streamer T1, seriusan. Damn.
Has
a great series.
Then you're like double
twice. Yeah, that's the dream.
That's the dream, actually. Maybe Smash like carries one game, but then they lose in a very close game 3.
I guess we'll have to see.
So we're getting through all the fan signs here. Good news, 6 years of Karia. And also talking about how we like a Faker victory. Human Faker is what that said, specifically. What's going on here?
Of these mascot battles coming through. This is D+ Kia's
Aku ngerasa
mascot.
Tiwan malah downgrade ya musim kemarin.
Kia does make cars.
Yeah.
Downgrade
then there's a reverse.
OP begini, Cok.
Wait, what? Why does it look like that car is so bloody? I don't think cars have blood.
It's the sparks. The sparks coming off. Well, you know, if it was like a living car.
Reckless mending ke DNS biar Deokdam dapat support yang benar.
Who's your favorite
I
character
mean,
from
Peter
Cars?
is not bad. And DNS is just bad group as a whole, to be honest.
Yeah, I figured I'd just get that in to tilt you before
Kayak DNS memang
start these games, you know.
I was gonna go on a whole spiel about how Doc Hudson's the GOAT.
Secara keseluruhan.
3 times, but gee, okay, whatever, Brandon.
Polnya mana deh? Lah, udah gue bikin. Nggak ada.
Johnny McQueen or something.
What?
Isn't it McQueen?
Don't even speak to me. Don't even... Just, Brendan, I'm asking you seriously. Just stop talking and lock in, because I don't want to have this conversation with you.
Lah, salah tempat
Let's
kah?
focus on the draft.
Ter.
Johnny McQueen.
Lightning McQueen. Okay. See, I was close. I got the McQueen part, you know.
Rumble left open, which is a bit of a surprise. We've seen generally some of these picks, like the Nocturne, the Jarvan, and the Bard, rising in ban priority. But we've started to see Karma and Rumble get let through a bit more.
Bro.
So we'll see what T1 have to offer in response.
Yeah, things I don't want to see. Jace, Ambessa. Anything else, honestly, whatever. Not those two in the top lane, please.
So going to the Ashe and the Xin Zhao does give them the opportunity
Owner on
to
Xin Zhao?
go with different
Damn.
support than Seraphine if it's a top lane.
Go.
Also gives D+ the chance to steal away the Seraphine if they so choose. D+ could just go Trundle into
Keria
the
is not
Xin Zhao. We've
getting
seen that
barred.
matchup often be popular, and also into an Ashe, the pillar can be pretty hard to deal
Jaketnya
with.
dikit tuh kenapa kayak jas hujan ya? Gila, Smash.
Rumble 2, you know, can set up some
Is Smash gonna win against Pace?
equalizers as we're looking for a Seraphine
Snacking?
takeaway here.
Yes.
Okay, so they will be denying that. Not giving over the Ashe Seraphine, which is obviously a lot of power. We've seen a lot of Ashe Lulu come out when the Seraphine's been taken away. We'll see if they want to pair it with an AD carry here and now.
Seraphim sama apa kombonya
Or if they
kocak?
want to try and secure a jungle
Zeri.
potentially.
Miss Fortune bagus sih, Miss
But it
Fortune.
looks like they will go for
Miss
that jungle
Fortune
to
Sera.
Xin Zhao. I think it makes a lot of sense. There are a few options. Nothing as good as the Ashe for pairing with the Seraphine. There's a few options that you can pair with it.
Kadang aing kagak ngerti sama droppingnya Chippy Mak anjing.
I think T1, I mean, they could go in a different direction where they go a more aggressive support, or they could just lock Lulu as kind of being the standard response in these situations.
Play Pike Carrier. I just want to see him play Pike.
Just want to will it into existence.
Yeah. I mean, he can dash over the Trundle pillar. He can get kills on Seraphine. Oh, it's Lulu.
Yeah. Well, Lulu Xin Zhao, really strong combo. We always talk about enchanters with Xin Zhao, but Lulu Xin Zhao was the OG combo. So have the ability to pair up there. I am a little bit concerned for Paze in this game. There's a lot of threats.
Kemarin bisa counter
There's a lot of
Sera
things
pakai
that you
Olaf.
get clipped by. You're gonna have a bad
I
time.
mean, Trundle is not
Undoubtedly, there's gonna
bad.
be Mikhail's coming through though, which will help out with the Seraphine ult.
Lagian kita
Now,
dapat
getting in the
Seranya ini.
second rotation.
We get the Sarah anyway. We're fine, I guess.
A lot of mids still open and available. You know, your Auroras, your Annies, your Ryzes. Ryze been overlooked so far, even though he's a pick that's risen quite a bit in priority since the patch. T1 will take away the Ezreal, trimming some of the 80 carries that Smash can play. There's still things like Caitlyn, Jhin, which I think can pair up pretty okay. Honestly, I feel like even MF would be fine. Azir out as a ban away.
Sorry bang, sorry bang.
Yeah, the Azir is pretty interesting. I mean, we don't see it picked that often nowadays, but we do see it banned in second phases a lot of the time when the mid lane does not get picked up. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff left in the mid lane. Like there's Annie, Aurora, Ryze, Anivia. I mean, there's that MF we were talking about. They're not going to let them have it.
Miss Fortune-nya di ban, cuk. Padahal enak tuh Miss Fortune sama Sera.
Seraphine could be pretty devastating.
Seramis enak.
But as I said, still some picks for Smash to go to that he's going to be fine with. T1 have counterpick potentially to set up for mid lane, so we'll see if they want to hammer away more so at this mid lane pool. If you end up going for Ryze,
Si
there's
Smash
obviously Cassiopeia,
ngoam
Anivia available, and they do ban that Anivia.
Smash is not impressed.
So in this situation, if T1 opt to go for Ryze now, they don't have to deal with Anivia, but there is the potential of Cassiopeia. If they don't, then maybe we end up getting Ryze for D+ into the Cassiopeia.
Bam, Packer bareng Karina, ente kapan bang? Lah, gua mau udah menikah dengan my bini.
We've seen it a good amount. Can also go in the mid lane, so keeping options open and making it a bit harder to predict for T1. It looks like it will just be that Caitlyn paired with the Seraphine. I feel like it was probably that or Jhin. And then mid for Showmaker.
Caitlyn Serapim.
I feel like Ryze, Annie,
Faker main tap, cok.
the three that I think on the forefront.
Yeah. Decent amount of time here being spent on the Caitlyn pick.
You know, I think I probably like Annie the most here, just because you have a lot of powerful ults, but having that setup is a lot of value.
Oh my god, Showmeki main Sylas, cok.
So much follow-up afterwards.
Showmeki Sylas.
Abilities that having that reliable CC will help out a long way with.
Sylas. Definitely something we've seen picked into TF in the past, where you can just steal the Destiny Gate and follow. And
damn, Showmeki Sylas.
Still a chance that TF is in the top lane. Besides the TF ult, I mean, you have
Faker
Ash
is not
Arrow.
impressed.
Guard's pretty good. Wild Growth can be kind of
TF mid
obnoxious.
itu.
Looking for the Yorick here.
Okay, so they keep the TF in the mid lane, put the Yorick up to the top lane against the Rumble.
TF mid lawan
Control
Sayrasu.
from T1. in terms of the stun cards, the Ash Arrow, but I feel like the team fight from D+ is just so explosive. They can get on this backline. This TF and Ash are such vulnerable targets. You have such good ability to kind of explode them if you start connecting with things like the Encore.
Alright, here we go.
If the Trundle Pillar comes down, it can cause a lot of issues, but T1 definitely have a lot of ways of kind of mitigating, and also the 1-3-1 is going to be pretty powerful as well that they can play through.
Yeah, I'm just glad we don't see Jace or Mbessa.
Udah paling aman itu Doran main Yorick.
The Mbessa into the Rumble has been kind of the common answer that
Yorick versus Yorick versus Doran versus Rumble.
You know, gamble by giving over the Rumble, I would say. I still think that he's extremely strong right now.
Oh yeah, definitely a pick that has been doing crazy work when it just got left open. So I think taking a risk here by leaving it available and seeing if they can counteract it.
There's like a fan sign of Smash.
Alright, there we go.
Swallowing Ati.
Game number 1. Zion ke Tion gantiin Koma kah? Gak digantiin sih, Koma masih head coach. Dia lagi rehat. D plus Kia fighting.
Alrighty, game number 1. So we're getting ready for DK versus T1. And Showmaker already bringing out a pretty interesting
Legends
pick,
never lost.
Nowadays
Damn.
it feels like the mid-meta. You know, you've seen some counter picks with the Nivea into Rise, Cassiopeia into Rise,
Is
stuff
that
like that.
T1 card?
A lot of Annie, a lot of Aurora. Rise is here. So kind of glad that we get something new for this game.
That was a rough start.
Of damage here in this trade. He's kind of canceling an auto there. Very aggressive trade.
Alright, career.
Yeah, obviously the level 1 of Ash is
Tempat lu rame amat bang. Ya, biasa tempat ini mah.
Falling low early, especially because he gets that empower damage when champions are below a certain threshold, is going to make things really difficult. And that's the thing with having the Lulu into Seraphine, you are just going to get out traded and allow Smash and Korea to have a good amount of pressure here. Notably, Smash does have Cleanse, which is insanely high value in this game, so definitely the take that you want to have, but it does mean not quite as much trading power in the 2v2. You obviously saw Paze use the barrier there, and I think that
Basecamp keluarga besar ya. Tetangga sih pada rame.
Smash and Korea, and Smash doesn't have that response.
We've seen a lot of Yorick into Jace. Obviously, that's been kind of the thing where teams, especially early on in the LCK, were like, well, I need to pick Jace because it's safe for a blind pick, and there's not a lot of safe blind picks nowadays. We've learned that kind of Jace, even blind pick, isn't really finding a lot of success, which has led to a lot of us casters kind of not being very happy with the picks, including myself.
Gua pengen lihat Doran main akali lagi. Iya ya, bosen lihat itu mulu Yorick mulu cok.
Kind of interested to see if Doran can pilot
Champion
it well
cringe
against the
ini.
Rumble here. He's been a great Yorick whenever I've seen it.
Faker, Faker tidak pernah kalah on TF, for real bro. Win rate 100% by Faker dia.
Before you got like refund on the comet every time you hit abilities. Now
Showmaker first pick. Showmaker first pick Salas.
So especially when you get rapid fire cannon, if you land a stun
Doran Irelia lah. Iya, Doran main Irel kayak gitu sekali-kali bro. Skin Porsche.
A good chunk, but even at like max auto range, you're getting like 75%.
Kemarin mati 9 TF juga kan? Iya kah?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be something
Itu
to
mid
look
champ yang
forward
tertukar.
to as we move along in this game.
Apa?
So far, not a huge amount of
Apa yang
action, but
tertukar?
Lucid is coming in here, trying to get aggressive.
Bang
But Oda
Azan,
was
iya.
hiding on Bush. As we're going to have the polymorph, and he just gets pushed away. But Owner essentially just hovering around the bottom side, knowing that easily the Trundle could try to come in for a gank with the way this bottom lane is going.
Great move there from Owner, protecting his bot lane, who we're potentially pretty vulnerable, and you know, playing the Xin Zhao into Trundle. We talked about how it's a bit of a tough matchup, but getting the jump on him, ensuring you immediately have the
Salah signatur Faker TF, signatur Showmeki. Lah iya ya, tuker. Showmeki juga gak pakai skin tuh.
6-0 on Xinjiao. Definitely one of the big picks, especially nowadays for Owner, that we always mention whenever he is playing it. So It's very nice to see them kind of pick that very early on for him.
Well, Tracker itu sengaja banget kayaknya mati 9, aku juga bisa mati 20. Aku bisa mati 20 tapi tetap menang wall. Faker be like, yes, I can do that.
They're doing really well so far. That being said, he has gotten a recall off and TP back in, so Xu's health being low is kind of temporary. You can get a recall by TP back, and any damage inflicted on Duran is a bit more long-standing, but it did allow Duran to get a plate there. A little bit of gold coming in.
Yeah, I just feel like the pressure is there. Mid lane's kind of been just going even. I think Showmaker has done a good job of not really getting harassed out of this lane. On the Silas, goes back, picks up a refillable. Faker gonna get the catalyst early on, so don't expect much killing to happen there in the mid lane at least.
It's crazy that Rumble was already so strong, and then they added a dot rune, a dot keystone. Yeah, so definitely something Shu is enjoying.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting as well as kind of the meta of the drafting has changed over time. And a lot of our teams are trying to figure out, especially as Seraphine, and ways to deal with that, different kind of lanes that they can bring in, or just stealing away the pick as we did see here. But also now, you know, some teams have been leaving up the Rumble and trying different things to deal with it.
Nothing happened, chat.
So a lot of our teams have also just left it up and gone back to the old.
Okay, Showmeki maju, mulai agresif. Faker masih ada heal. Lucy try to gang. Nice knock up. No flash by Keria. Pace is dominating the lane. What the fuck?
Yeah, Pace doing a good job of mitigating by just getting damage down while they're focused on Keria. Keria does have to flash, but unfortunately the route from Korea doesn't connect. Slow from the pillar was there to set it up. I do think with the flash he still would have been okay to get away. Now Showmaker stealing the Destiny and using it just as a way to TP back in, which I think T1 pretty happy that they don't have to deal with that threat. Faker yet to use his Destiny, but if he sees an angle to set that up, potentially can get a easy kill. There's still summoners available for everyone on D+ in terms of flashes though, so no easy targets as of yet.
Yeah, it does feel like there might be a window for Faker to get something going. Generally, we see the Silas in mid just to steal the Destiny and try to follow when the TF does move, but if you use it just to get back to lane, it's like, well, not going to be able to hide
ya kalau misalkan nanti pas war si Silas dapat ultinya Shinzo, mantap sih. Bisa open war, cuk.
If they get on top of your backline, can be a massive problem with feeling the maiden.
The maiden chase.
I mean, it does look with that skin like she is on fire, so fitting, but oh, heavy trade coming in.
Yeah, Arrow's going to be picked up here.
Oh my god, Smash is going to die! Fuck! Oh, nge-flash dia. Oh, tuh, ih, seramnya.
I feel like he could have gotten that kill if he just auto smash.
Si Smash, si Pace agresif banget main anjir.
I agree, it was a difference maker in that trade. And you're seeing the lack of barrier from Smash. Even though he has the cleanse, he's not the one who even eats the Ash ult and just can't really step up when Pace has all that sustained damage.
Damn, son.
Still positive for T1. They got a lot of pressure down. They've been a lot of summoners, but would have loved to get that kill there.
Lucid just starts the Drake, and I mean, it looked like Faker was pushing up and also Smash and Career had backed, but we also have a back of the T1.
Pace kagak mau diganti nama Keria. I am di carry Keria. Keria san. Stop outshine my AD carry.
Gotta respect the Trundle so much as well, especially when he's taking like a dragon and he can just heal off it on top of that when it does get taken down. But yeah, I feel like this composition for T1, what I was saying before, is D+ have a lot of threats to get on the backline, like the Silas, the Rumble, and then things like the Encore passing through. But T1 have so much map control.
Minus satu. Faker minus satu,
guys. They can just
guys.
easily find people on the map whenever they
Kalah
want.
sih ya sama Chovy,
I
cok.
think finding creative angles for D+ is actually going to be really difficult.
Ngantuk. Iya, anjir.
It's so easy for T1
Halo, welcome.
And I think
Welcome,
it means
Hamdi.
that if T1 get a sizable lead, it's going to be very difficult to find your way back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen a lot of, Rumble Vi, Rumble plus engage support, stuff that can actually set up the equalizer in a good way, but they kind of have Rumble and Silas and Pillar, so
that's how I was thinking.
exactly the best comp for Rumble.
That's why I was thinking the Annie could work to set them up. Now we do see a dive coming in here. TF committing as well.
Okay, Owner is here, Faker is here.
Down the lane, but it might be a little bit late as the damage already.
Okay, Lucid, do something, Lucid. Lucid, do something, Lucid.
Doesn't really do anything. Doesn't even keep them
Okay, Showmeki is here. Oh, dapat ultinya si Zhao. Maju. Haze. Haja. Okay. Oh, ada TP. Rumble di belakang. Gas. Oh, Showmeki. Hello, Faker. Nge-flash lagi ke dalam. Masuk lagi. Alamak. Oh my god, DK! Double kill for Showmeki.
The TP coming in is such a big difference maker for D+ to be able to clean up all those kills. T1 trying to
Dapat
get in
gift
and
dari
get out quickly.
Udah tahu tuh.
And this is the
Kemarin
payoff
yang
of those
gift.
summoners being burned earlier. Easy to set this up onto Smash. He just dies
Double
so quickly.
kill for Showmeki.
Ults after tower aggro is dropped. But they're kept interested because we have a reset coming in from Shiwu. Showmaker wants to do this to buy time. And you can see the TP's already coming in when he's doing this. He disengages again with the Crescent Guard. And then T1 realized
Nice
the
Rumble
Rumble is
auto.
coming up on the flank.
Sumpah
And they are
ngarahin
no
Rumble
longer in a
auto susah
comfortable
anjir.
position. Doran's TP on cooldown. He can't help.
That was a nice
Faker
block.
forcing blast right into Shiwu.
Tuh, bagus
And
itu
as they get
ngalangin
lower and
jalan.
lower,
Gak bisa
just gonna
lewat.
see Shiwu moving around, Smash even respawns, and there's just no way for them to get out of this.
A good TP from Seoul.
Yeah, not the best feeling for the side of T1, but Deeplaskia definitely
Nice
did play that
TP,
pretty well. We did have Doran getting some plates in top lane. Looks like there's only one plate left, actually, so definitely a good chunk there, at least in the trade, but certainly a good way for Deeplaskia to get back in this game.
I feel like even though the team gold is pretty even.
Okay, 3 grams per owner. Seoul is here. Showmeki. Oh my god, Showmeki is angry, bro. Might be in danger.
I think in this 2v1 they should be able to trade it back, and that they do.
And Lucy takes his
One on
time to
one,
move
not
down
bad.
towards bot again.
Lucy is
Try and
here.
put some pressure down here. Carry and pays back away, so won't be threatened, but won't really be able to walk up comfortably to the tower. In fact, Carrier tries.
Oh, Carrier stop.
Does try, and he's
Carrier
going
no
to be
flash.
forced to flash away because of that. This is like, yeah, I guess I will collect your flash.
It's so difficult as a mobile champion into Trundle. You know, if you're trapped against a wall and that pillar comes down, you're flashing. If they have the manpower to back it up, which they absolutely did. Sort of wave clear ult from Shiwu comes through, but there's still some minions left alive. We'll see a replay, and this was just Ona getting back on the map quickly, trying to get these grubs cleared, and getting caught out by the solo laners. But you see, as this is going on, there isn't the jungle support from the Trundle. The Ash Arrow is such a long stun as well from that distance. And Lucid is beelining for bot instead, so able to trade back is T1.
There's no turret.
Itu hitboxnya gak logis, sumpah. Semoga gue next hitbox bagus.
I mean, that's the thing, is that earlier team fight that went in favor of D+.
Ketikan lu, gimana sih?
CS got a lot of plates in the meantime.
Silas, maksudnya Silas.
The problem is that
Silas emang aneh hitboxnya kocak. Ada magnetnya.
Because Showmaker has 3 kills, it looks like the lead between them isn't that big. But you got to think about the TF gets so much free gold. And if you're behind as a TF, that's going to feel more painful than any other champion because you're supposed to be ahead of the curve with the extra gold generated from the passive. So this game feels pretty even right now.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, DK got that first Drake as well. Looks like they were trying to set up for the second Drake, but it's Mountain Cloud.
Owner doang ini yang questnya belum kelar.
50-50, could be Chemtech or Ocean.
Harusnya dari sini kelar sih quest dia.
I feel like Ocean isn't so bad, and even Chemtech for the Seraphine, but it does look like regardless they are not going to flip over getting the second Drake here. They're just going to give it over to T1.
T1 gonna get the Drake.
Soul we do get
Faker is trying to cover top. Oh, dia Faker tidak melihat ada Lucid di belakang, bro. Oh my god, Lucid just say go in! Oh my god! Commit! Mantap! Faker didn't see that coming. Itu dia cara main Trundle, bro. Aing mah kagak bisa main Trundle anjir. Harus berbiji besar main Trundle nah. Nyali lo harus gede.
If he was like instantly ready to go. Because obviously once the pillar comes down, they don't have any more CC, but the timing might... The damage was pretty heavy, so it might have been a bit tough. And obviously if you're wrong, if you miscalculate, you just lose Destiny for nothing.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to hold on to that, but with the Drake being taken, there's
udah
not
kill 3
really,
aja Showmeki MVP sih. Tidak nyangka Silasnya, bro. Ini first time dia pakai Silas di split 2, guys. Showmeki, guys. Biasanya malas dia main Silas. Pakai apa yang ini? Mana ada biji lu deh? Lah itu dia makanya gue gak bisa main Trundle, kocak. Main Trundle kan biji lu mesti gede.
It does look like he was just going to go ahead and try to take the Rift Herald down. We do have TP available for Shiu.
I think T1 are doing a good job of controlling areas, getting set up.
Herald is gonna be taken away by T1. But are they gonna fight? Showmeki is here.
I mean, they come in here.
Lucid is almost get caught.
Like 1,000 health. So they're like, oh, okay.
Okay, play safe, nice.
Yeah, just gotta supervise them doing it. But I think T1's composition, you know, you get control the area, you...
Semoga kasus kemarin tidak terjadi lagi pas Lucid kagak ngapa-ngapain anjir. Satu game Lucid gak ngapa-ngapain. Almost there. That was almost hit.
The Merc treads, so maybe could have lived even if it did hit, but would not be a fun time.
Oh, Doran! Where are you doing, Doran? Doran! Okay, ada TP dari Fakuh. Fakuh is here. Oh my god! Showmeki, oh tidak shutdown. Shutdown! Doran dapat shutdown, cok. Jir, kena cok, what the fuck? Wah, Bang Faker, ampun deh. Ampun deh Bang Faker. Terkena kartu kuning pelanggaran.
They do lose out on the bot side of the map. She will get some free push in there. But
kartu kuning pelanggaran.
Getting some damage on this tier 2 tower, getting a bunch of kills, definitely a worthy payout. And the Rumble had TP here, so they opted not to bring the Rumble in. You can see they just don't have the damage to cut through Doran that quickly. He doesn't even have he still has his flash available if he really wanted to disengage. And then the TP from the TF, they run away, but Destiny allows to follow up.
Bisa-bisanya flankingnya bagus kayak gitu aja. Terus ulti, cok.
Pillar doesn't get a huge amount of value there. Because I think if they were expecting it to be a committed play,
habis tackle Doran kena kartu kuning Lucid. Iya, pelanggaran jir.
But instead they just try and say, okay, we'll sacrifice one, Shiwu gets free push, but Lucid dying as well definitely hurts the play.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't expect Owner to run all the way up there from the river where they didn't really have
IQ Prima berumur 30 tahun.
And it kind of caught them off guard.
Uncle is still strong. Uncle still got it.
It's not really too much value taken out of that, but he just wanted to use it. Get it off cooldown, I suppose. Yeah, you have this Drake coming up in 40 seconds.
Going to the Drake fight, I think, wants to get a bit of a higher value team fight ultimate. So he was pushed in.
Okay. Sakit. Sumpah, yang bikin gua kesel dari si Yorick tuh itu tuh. Sakit banget anjing Q-nya. Kasih tahu, anjing. Bisa-bisanya diserang, cok. Benci banget gua sama Yorick, cempen dajal. Balance-nya di mana Yorick, anjir.
D Plus just getting crushed on these top side plays.
Champion Dajjal ini tidak balance,
right
Cok.
now on this Yorick. Just Shibu cannot handle him, and as soon as they start to try and bring in members to counteract the play, it's T1 who bring in a lot more strength and are able to clean this
Yorick
one
kalau
up.
udah snowball itu jijik, sumpah jijik banget damage-nya anjing. Like, apa coba Q-nya kayak gitu damage-nya tai.
And isn't able to disengage quickly. Tries to turn the trade around as like I'll set up for Lucid. Dies to the ghoul, unfortunately. And then this peel from Ona was just great. The ult to get him away from his top lane. Doran goes in.
Kalau pakai boss lebih ngeselin lagi. Ini Yorick sumpah hebat sih damage-nya sih. Minimal kalau damage segitu jangan terlalu tebel, Cok.
And then the Ludu's inside combo just to keep
Lawannya apa ya?
getting away.
Pakai Ornn nggak bisa kah?
This was a great play from T1 and they're able to get back on the map.
Ornn sakit sih, AP.
Still alive.
Yeah.
Now with a 4,200 gold lead,
Yone sih.
I think D Plus are gonna struggle.
Jujur Yone bisa sebenarnya.
T1 if it gets ahead is so suffocating.
Cuma Siu kagak main Yone kayak.
They don't really have, again we talked about it, they don't really have a very reliable way to engage. It's
Makanannya
like
Yone sih harusnya.
and try to run with a vision disadvantage.
Yang lebih gampang, Vayne mah korbannya Yorick, anjir, makanan kesukaan Yorick. Wanita cantik memakai panah, jadi kubur sama Yorick, kocak Vayne mah. Nyungsep ke tanah, Cok. Makanannya Yorick, anjir.
He's almost 2 levels up on Shu. He's about to hit level 16. I guess Shu is about to hit level 15, but 4-0 on this Yorick is a fearsome opponent.
Rainstop udah gak meta lagi kah? Iya, masih kok masih. Cuma tinggal dikasih Yorick juga udah diem Rainstop mah. Tinggal pakai Yorick. Yorick is the king.
While we kind of have Showmaker coming over here, gonna steal the Ash Arrow.
Queen mantap, Queen. Harus nobal gak sih? Kayak geli deh early-nya.
Managed to find Duran there with no flash and the TP not able to come through. He goes down. It's a good chunk of gold. But it doesn't really slow down.
Queen lebih sering di support malah daripada top lane. Kalau di pro scene gue liat pada pakai Queen support.
I think Darn unfortunately didn't have full information on how close Lucid was.
Di F-top kapan? Si Zeus tuh pernah pakai Twisted Fate top lane.
Was there as well, but just gets melted.
Kemarin gue udah DM Faker kalau sampai kalah sama Showmeki Karina buat gua. What the fuck? Emang bisa kayak gitu, jir?
It's kind of interesting. We oftentimes see in a lot of our LCK games, especially, you know, big leads being taken over objective fights, or you know, we get like a Rift Herald fight highlight or a third Dragon highlight, but T1 really just got a massive lead by 2.
Oke, sekarang kita butuh Yorick di WR, malas jir lawan top range. Asli. Yorick mah lawan yang tipis-tipis langsung ngiler kocak, langsung range top. Damn. Makanan gue tuh. Yorick mah dikasih range top ngiler kocak.
You see Showmaker firing off that Ash Arrow, doesn't connect. And yeah, now they're sending Showmaker up against Doran, but he's 3 levels down, by the way.
Yeah. And
Lucid? Guys?
Now he's 2 levels down.
Guys?
They just started the Baron. Lucid
Oh no.
flash, so can get into
Oh
the pit
no.
if he wants
Bentar
to.
lagi di ulti deh. Benar. Honor mati tuh. Alamak, Serapin gua. Mana Showmeki? Showmeki mana? Mana Showmeki?
That's just 2 free kills. T1
Where is Showmeki,
with their
bro?
T1 Baron plays. They don't need to actually take the Baron. They just get another big gold lead off of that play.
Where is
The turn was
Showmeki?
so good from T1. They have the setup, they have the CC, they chase down members of D+, and Ona just feels invincible with the Lulu backing him up. Faker's going to move in to cover this bot lane from Showmaker. And now Lucid has no flash. I think the chance of getting a steal here is very slim. He's going to try and go to the top lane with the structure of the
Ada Trinklet.
All they have to do is put security guard Yorick up there on
Ya,
the top side
pulang
of the Baron.
anjing malas menanggapi,
Lucid just kind
cocok.
of has to be sad about it.
So Baron picked up for T1, another team fight win, almost a 6,000 gold lead. This game feeling firmly in their control. we'll see the replay. The turn is just so instant. As soon
Showmeki ada, dia ada di situ, Cok. Oh, di kehalangan temboknya Yorick tuh. Yorick emang ngeselin anjir. Lihat, galangin temboknya, kocak, kagak bisa lewat si Showmeki, pantesan. Ultinya Yorick ngapain sih? Panggil bininya Pego kan? Bener gak sih bininya Pego guys itu?
Yeah, you mentioned, TF Ashe. They know exactly where they are. They have so much vision in the jungle as well, just with the warding on top of that. As,
itu bininya Pego kan, Maiden.
I'm not so sure about that, as the stolen Ashe arrow going to delay them, but Lucid gets caught up in the wall, and even with the subjugate, just kind of falls over.
You take a step too far in your own jungle, and you're just dead. You just get jumped on, Faker turns up, feels like the whole squad's there.
Emang iya lah, katanya lore-nya gitu. Oh, Doran is throwing. Riot! Yorick, Riot! Alamak. Riot, Yorick, Riot!
T1 definitely could have slow played this, but they opted just burst down the enemy AD carry in this situation and to play the game a lot faster paced. D+ not only have the support alive, Lucy's gonna respawn, but I'm not sure there's much he can do.
Yeah, it's just a Trundle without ults, without a flash. I mean, they don't even have to kill him. They could just hit the Nexus, but
Doran aja bingung.
They are gonna do a bit more damage, pump those numbers up just a little bit, but it is a clean and dominant game one here from T1. From the draft to the gameplay, they were in
Bro,
control
that was too quick. What the fuck?
Reliable engagement.
GV Max, why so fast? Bro, do better draft pick lah. Anjir, GV Max kenapa draft picknya aneh banget sih, Cok. Ngapain ngambil Seraphim sih anjing?
And when they got ahead, it just felt like you were cut out the game. Felt like you couldn't step anywhere without the threat of being
Tujuannya apa ngambil Seraphim ya? Kalau nggak punya rencana, kocak.
Some great performances in Doran and Yard.
Coachnya anjir, what your plan, bro? Okay, take Seraphim and then what? Miss Fortune getting banned lah. Gak jelas anjir Yorick. Tebel damage sakit, Cok. Banget kata gue mah.
From the get-go and never really got off the ground. The Rumble wasn't enabled in any team fights.
Seraphim mental support for real. Astagfirullahaladzim.
Reached a point where we might see
apa itu, Cok?
So nothing really going for
What
them.
is that?
T1 look like they are back in
What is
form. This kind of feels like all of our other 2-0s we've had this week, which has been every single match so far. Where it's very dominant to one side. T+ Kia, they really need to go back to the drawing board if we're going to have a game number 3 tonight. But for now, it's T1 in the lead, 1-0, and we'll be right back.
What the fuck is this? Anjir, itu game, Cok. What the fuck? Jangan lupa Yorick pennya keroyokan deh. Ya, makanya cringe banget Yorick sih. Yone dah kayaknya. Yone kayak enak deh lawan Yorick ya. Yone. Lagi yang bisa main Irel kayaknya cuma si itu dah, The Shy. Is that?
You said that you would let it go. But I don't wanna catch you hung out with somebody that you used to know. You didn't have to cut me off. Make it happen, never happen, and then we were nothing.
Gue ketika nyanyi. Indo juara 1 TFT saya seriusan. IG juga. Maiden itu makhluk Shadow Isle yang dirasuki rohnya Isolde, bininya Viego. Ya berarti bener dong.
Bener dong.
Sama aja. Lah. Kalau gitu salah siapa, anjir? What? Apa ini Helvetica Standard? Helvetica Standard. Lah. Apa sih? Pasti India. Ini India. Helvetica Standard. What the hell is that? Kasian banget ya. Tan ditebangin, cok. Kawanan Kasuari terdiam kaku menatap rumahnya yang kini rata dengan tanah. Anjir. Orang tuh duitnya kagak pernah kurang, kagak pernah cukup ke manusia tuh ya. Udah anjir, kau sudah kaya, duit udah cukup buat beli makan, masih kurang anjir. Orang-orang biadab ini. Ini posisi kakinya gimana sih? Aku masih miskin. Maksudnya orang yang udah kaya tuh, yang eksploitasi hutan ini, duitnya masih kurang kah? Duit tuh cuma cukup, duit tuh udah buat makan, tempat tinggal, udah. You just need 2 of that. Manusia hanya butuh makan, tempat tinggal, udah. Orang tuh aneh banget seorang kaya, mindsetnya anjing. Orang kaya di Indo kalau gak eksploitasi manusia, eksploitasi alam. Kayak yang gue bingung, kok kagak pernah puas gitu. Duit tuh udah buat makan, tempat tinggal, udah itu 2 aja. Ngapain sih beli-beli yang kagak penting anjir? Mobil mewah buat apa coba? Ya sebenarnya benar sih, kayak karena cuma pecahannya doang, dan pecahan yang lain di dalam dirinya sama Sena sama Gwen. Si paling masih bahas Yorick kayaknya.
Sekarang kita masuk ke Cyberpunk Canggu, mau main PS.
Beli lampu lebih penting EG. Itu jalan, itulah mindset orang tidak benar ya. Sekarang apa? Lu punya Lambo keren, terus apa? Lu dapet apa anjir? Keren doang kocak. Manusia tuh cuma butuh tempat tinggal sama makan, tidak butuh keren-kerenan. Cuma ngasih tahu doang deh. Oh ya, terima kasih infonya. Anjimber scroll Facebook lah, gabut ngapain lagi? Teman Facebook aing kenapa aneh-aneh ya shareannya ya? Bingung gue. Astaga. Cool Beast. YouTube ada VTuber for what the hell? Kagak tahu, yang nge-share temen gua. Emang anomali sih rata-rata ya. Tebak-tebakan tahun ini siapa roster T1 yang lepas? Entah. Doran sih kontraknya paling bentar lagi ya. Tapi nggak tahu tuh perpanjang apa enggak. Apa? Bedanya neraka sama LOL? Ada orang jahat? Ya. Banyak kekerasan? Ya. Penderitaan? Ya. Bad teammate? Oh my god, hell doesn't have bad teammate, bro. Hell win. Kok bisa lebih bagus hell daripada LOL ya? Damn.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the space. It is T1 up 1-0 over D plus Kia in the battle between the Acres, the Faker and Showmaker, and we've got ourselves a very special guest here on the desk joining myself, Wolf, and Wadid. It is the man you saw on the screen earlier. Reckless joins us here. Welcome, Reckless.
감사합니다.
Yay!
So happy to have you here on the desk. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you have such great insight here, not only as a bot lane player, but as a support player. Not only have planning for T1, but for the bot laner for the team that is playing against T1 here in Smash for D plus Kia. So we wanted to start with you. Welcome back. What you doing here? How have you been?
Thank you, first of all. I've been great, honestly. Lost Rotons was a lot of fun, which is the last thing I did since actually playing in Korea. So
and what happens
just a lot of
when we get the scuttle crab?
Jungler death. Part of that actually. So when I arrived to Korea, I asked Becker like, hey.
And it's a fucking jungler death, baby. So that means now, what are you gonna type in all chat?
Jungler death.
I wanna see it, Jinxie.
W Becker for sorting it out.
Yeah, Becker T1.
God! And what happens when we get the scuttle crab?
Thoughts on just future plans now, because people have been wondering after the LEC versus and the way that Los Ratones shook it on up, the way that you guys like really revitalized the League of Legends space. What are you thinking here in the future for you?
Not sure actually. I would love to.
Oh, nonton kelasnya Jinxie gak tadi pagi. Seru, lucu banget main sama Tyler sama Dante. Lah, tahu tadi pagi. Gue nunggu klipnya sih. Kirain masih lama, Jo.
But honestly, when you raised the question like a couple of minutes ago, what I'm gonna be doing next, I'm
tadi
very
pagi.
curious what Did is gonna be doing.
What's
your future like?
What is happening? Probably I'm gonna get married, you know.
Tadi
like in
ntar
the
nonton dah
future,
klipnya.
with my future wife.
Gotta find a girlfriend first. All right, again, these two playing against each other multiple times throughout their
True.
Crazy to see you after all this time.
Yeah, it's true. Like
You look great, man.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean you too. Like I think we've been. It's been like 8 years already, and you were smashing like back in the day. Like I couldn't really win against you, but now I guess maybe like you know like as a support.
I'm a support now, so maybe.
Yeah, so like maybe like we should.
You guys are
in-house.
starting to make me feel like a
together,
third
yeah?
wheel here.
fourth wheel. I know.
Can we get the
Ini
draft?
anime slime kan ya?
Let's talk about this
Ceritanya
Seraphine
tentang apa sih?
split that we did have in the early parts of this one. They went for the Xin here first, and then that meant that the Seraphine did go over to D+. I want to know your thoughts on this, Reckless, because we do often see players try to say, all right, there's no way you're going to pull the Seraphine away. We're actually going to get jungle instead. Do you think this was worth it, and do you think D+'s choice to grab the Seraphine actually paid off for them?
I wouldn't have done it myself. And if you do it though, I think you need to pair it with an AD carry that makes a little bit more sense. I'm not a big fan of the Caitlyn in general, but I think if you do play Caitlyn, it needs to be paired with like the Bard or the Nico for maximum lane presence. And I don't think Seraphine brings that. So
Wait,
I would have liked
Reckless
to see,
in the space?
for example, the Jhin 4-5.
Damn.
Jhin, or just not taking the Seraphine in the first place and putting yourself on your own hyper carry of sorts. Because here I feel like on 3 carry.
Perpeniki na sai. Opro cancer kai wai. O perpeniki na sai. Perping wa opro saranai. Opro arno kane mo chidaki. So metai shower ka buckets da ke dayo. Pono sarno hoga madata kayo yo haiter. Taber no suki da diet da ke na. Perpeniki na sai. Perpenjin taber no dai suki da kara o misa tabe hodai bak. Perpeniki na sai. Totemo dare mo kini shinai dai. Yaku ni mochi mochi wa Justin Bieber korai motero. Yandere kanu yo hoshi. Perpeniki na sai. Perpenno na yaki mochi bakari da kara. Choto da mo hokano na metara sono間お前のチョンギラで毎日やんでつらいベレペンに来なさいみんなあなたの悩み結構みんなあなたつれ出すみんなあなたを悲しませるやつぶち殺ベレ
This is such a T1
ペン
moment.
はおかまが路上で殴り合ってる屋台のご飯に生えた草やる臭いとこ一応はピンの危ないドライにと虫よや熱いそれでもベレペンに来てくださいベレペンに来なさいオプロキャンセル界隈おベレペンに来なさいベレピンはオプロすらないオプロあるの金持ちだ冷たいシャワーかバケツだけだよこの猿 no
Kagak tahu aja. Logatnya gak jelas, Cok.
Huwag madata kayo yung hater. Taberu no sa kita daya to dai kinai. Pero penikinasai. Pero penjin taberu no dai su kita kara umisa tabe ho dai bakar. To temo dare mo kinishinai dai. Yaku ni mochi mochi wa Justin Bieber korai motero. Yandere kanu.
What the fuck is he talking about?
If you miss the lead from the top side as a number, then I think you can really do anything against your own. So.
It's just hard to tell, like, in the moment if you should go for that play or not, right? Because they kill pretty much all of them with that Rumble TP early game. And short term, it looks great. But long term, what does that really work? And it leaves in with a couple of plates, first tower.
Hangat guys, gulingkan Kaltin guys. Jawa Medok masih lebih super. Mana ada nggak VTuber Jawa ngomong Jepang?
Yeah, gotta get that back under.
Ini gue pakai buat wallpaper.
It doesn't spiral out of control. We know what during.
Nike ceritanya bagus banget guys.
A decent amount of the time
Sumpah.
here in Korea with that man on your screen, Smash. We want to know
bagus
what
buat ceritanya,
your
Cok.
message to Smash going into game number 2.
First of all, I just want to say I'm so happy for him to be in the LCK. He deserved it already. When he played with, he was way too good when he played with me already, and I was like mind blown when I entered CL 2024 and I'm playing with someone of his caliber. So I'm really
bagus
happy.
ceritanya Jir.
He deserves it. And second of all, I think just like keep going. I feel like he's a good fit with career. Because when I played CL,
high-nya plusnya lah. Ceritanya sih emang bagus sih.
So they're a good pairing, I think, first of all. But
kalau pada konten creator tuh yang Jawa Medok terus bahasa Jepang, kayak lucu tuh.
And yeah, results will come.
All right, we'll see what happens here for Smash and the rest of D plus Kia down 1-0 to T1. Let's send it back on over the casters for game number 2.
Thank you, Spacers, Digon, Wolf, and Wanted, and guest Spacer Reckless. Very nice to have you here. Great insight there on that game number 1.
What the?
And getting ready now for game number 2, hoping that this one can be a bit closer, Rox.
Yeah, it was super cool hearing those insights, obviously as someone who's played a lot with Smash.
Alright, chat, game 2.
Sort of talking about, you know, this is what he would have done in these situations, this is his thought process, really enlightening us. And going into game 2,
Collab sama Jerome Pauline.
obviously some of the weight from the bans is kind of being freed up with that Rumble being taken away. T1 in the second pick position, don't have to throw as many bans down now. Dealing with the Rumble, I think that's a big thing. If you let something powerful, that's one of those like Pimaban picks like the Rumble, if you let it open, other team gets it, you still win. It just relieves a lot of pressure. Probably the Jarvan now just gonna get
actually how
bans,
DK gonna win.
Yeah, it feels pretty rough that
T1 literally have counter for everything, bro.
To ban Bard and Varus, which, you know, obviously you got to ban Bard against carry, but it's a more common Bard.
T1 literally have counter for everything. What should we do?
From the first pick side, feels like you could potentially utilize that and force the other team to ban it away, but they do not do that. As T1 a lot of thought into this one, and there's that Lee Sin with these two junglers makes a lot of sense.
It's interesting because I feel like that just really sets them up to say, we want you to pick Jarvan. You know, we're trimming the junglers. There's 4 junglers out of the pool already. Jarvan's already
Lucid kenapa tangannya goyang-goyang, guys?
jungler right now on the patch.
Dia lagi ngapain, Cok?
So I feel like they've baited the trap effectively. Kind of similar to game 1 with the Rumble. They presented this really powerful pick.
But DK have GP Max. Nah, itu dia GP Max. Can you cook, bro?
It looks like
Is this coach can cook?
Not have the job. We're going to prioritize Illusion.
Masakannya GP Max sejauh ini rasanya tidak enak.
I wonder if T1
Aku taunya konten kreator Vichanyo ngomong Jepang pakai aksen Jepang.
I think that's been the strongest combo.
Ya, itu mah berarti dia ngomong normal, kocak. Maksud lo? Ngomong Jepang pakai aksen Jepang ya berarti ngomong Jepang anjir.
I was gonna say the Jarvan themselves, but they go straight
berarti
to the
normal, kocak.
CC for Lucian, and I guess the Jarvan impact isn't as relevant into the Lucian. Now, this is interesting, going the Kog'Maw here, because Kog'Maw Lulu is the pairing we all know and love. That's not available.
Israel?
And if you were going to go like Kog'Maw Melio, you'd need to grab the Melio.
Yeah.
Aksen Jawa,
so instead they go for the Ezreal, 4 pays.
T1 counter themselves.
We've seen
Faker Aurora? I mean, I wanna see that.
On the current patch,
yes, please.
Definitely the Ezreal Nico has been struggling.
Yuki Jade, dia bahasanya Jepang, Surabaya bahasanya Jawa juga medok banget. Lucu sih kayaknya sih orang Jawa ngomong Jepang ya.
Jarvan still available, but you don't necessarily want to pick it into Ezreal, but still very
Lucian
strong
Milio.
by its own right. They're gonna go for Milio first.
Nice combo, nice combo.
Quick little hover of the Neferi, but Neferi was originally picked into
Ay,
the
penjajahan,
Vi,
the fuck.
and I feel like this is a good angle for it. Rather than picking the Jarvan, which obviously can't do as much to the Ezreal, and you don't know the other picks on T1, you know, Fakuh could even grab himself something like the Azir, so there's not too much threat from the Cataclysm. I think the Neferi makes a lot of sense here. It would be a very aggressive composition, but it looks like they are just going to commit to the Jarvan.
J4?
More consistent, I guess. Less
I mean,
snowbally
J4
than
is
the Neferi
fine.
And it is just going to be the Ezreal Nico coming out from T1, so not too much surprise.
Cool.
But Carrier's had some great Nico games recently. It's a pick where I feel like we've seen some supports struggle to have that same level of lane
Oh wait, Nico, fuck!
And as a result,
Oh
that's
shit!
why the Ezreal Nico's
Oh lupa gua.
Rumble 2, you know, can set up some...
Anjir, Carrier main Nico, cok!
I will say that Nico into Jarvan doesn't feel the best because
Aduh, baru ngeh gua.
You and when you're trying to go for an ult or you're forced to ult so you don't die and he just flag and drags out. We've seen that
Tuh
combo.
ngapa joget-joget kocak, draft pick yang benar, bangke.
Ban away the Akali. I feel like D+ are going to go for the Azir again, like they would have anyway, but with the Akali being banned, I think that just further emphasizes it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We had a pretty unique mid lane head-to-head for Game 1, especially for a Game 1. With the TF and the Sylas, there's still so much left in the mid lane. I mean, Azir, Aurora, Annie, Ryze, Anivia, Cassiopeia, lots of stuff. Nara going to be banned away, though.
Yeah, respecting the threat Doran had in the side lane later on.
Kemarin cosplay kodok, sekarang cosplay apa? Tahu nih, Carrier berniat jahat hari ini. Biar gak gugup mikirnya mungkin, iya kali ya.
Other frustrating picks to play into Renekton though, like the Vayne. And they go
Honestly, Showmaker main Leblanc bagus sih di sini. Leblanc.
Given that
Showmaker main Leblanc nggak sih? Leblanc.
No, that's fine. I get it.
I know you don't like Jace.
Yeah.
But
he's not a very nice guy. Also, he's just not good at League of Legends right
You would have been able to take, like, Sion into it and would have been fine. There's that Azir ban coming through. We'll see, presumably, T1 prioritizing a mid-pick here.
Faker main apa ya?
You can go something like Ahri. Has mobility to deal with the Jarvan. It's great with the Ahri and Vi combination.
Faker main Ahri kah?
But you can't
Burung itu lagi.
He's just gonna go ahead and pick Anivia.
Burung itu lagi. Flex pick itu ya, bisa top lane, bisa mid.
Definitely a favorite of Showmaker at the beginning of the LCK.
Leblanc sih Showmaker.
As now maybe
I think Leblanc is nice.
For DK.
I mean, Sion into this composition, he's very bulky. Ezreal can just hammer away Mystic shots and feel like you're just doing nothing. But
jangan lupa momen swing 1 kalau gak salah kira pakai skill 2 tapi maju Nico asli, klonnya diam terus musuh langsung hit, bingung hit yang mana. Itu yang pas dia klon itu bukan sih Nocturne. Itu bukannya pas world ya?
You can't ult away or ult in against her wall. It's a lot of control, it's a lot of power.
Bagus sih. Ya benar. Victor good. Victor Jarvan is good.
But like, there are a lot of other things that Doran can play, including
Alamak, Doran Kamil. Tamat sudah karirnya Lucian cu.
I feel like a lot of our top laners would just pick a Renekton here, and that would be kind of the standard.
Oh, Doran Ambessa.
But instead,
Ambessa Sion is not bad matchup actually. Yang kita takutkan saat ini Keria Nico sih. Keria Nico is so scary lah.
The Anivia, the Nico, but it's not going to do anything against the Vi and Bessus.
I'm so scared. Keria is playing Nico.
Well. You can have a fine time into the Anivia generally.
I'm scared.
And that's another fact of going this Sion is you put more emphasis on those two carries. You need Smash and the Showmaker to be putting damage out, to be surviving these fights, and I think T1 just have so many ways of not letting that happen.
Yeah, I will mention that Ambessa currently 5-21. 19% win rate.
Wow.
Has been
Kenapa orang pada pick Ezreal championnya scam di region ke internasional lebih sering kalah? Soalnya OP sih championnya sebenarnya emang bagus. Kayak si Teddy. Tapi gak semua orang sejago Teddy. Not everyone as strong as Teddy.
We'll see how Doran pilots are here in game number 1.
Yeah, I think a lot of the picks T1 haven't been so successful recently. It's been a bit hit or miss at times. So, especially going into Sion.
Alright, let's go di plus Kia.
Could struggle.
Bisa yuk, game 3.
For game number 2.
Game 3. Game 3 Israel.
Alright, here we go. Match 59 and then match 60 later on today will be the home front.
Ini masih main di home-nya T1 kah? Ini di LoL Park ini. Di home-nya T1 mah gede biasanya. Desir nyala gede. Mati.
In the mid lane, Showmeki going for that, of course, on the Victor. We'll see how that impacts some of these early trades. We've seen Lucian Milio be so strong, but I feel like lane is the point where it can be variable in strength. I do think in this matchup specifically, if you're avoiding these skill shots, you have a lot of burst trading power. And looking to get some damage down and carrier there.
That's an exhaust out of Peas, by the way. They're gonna force his barrier and also the heal, rather. So trading a lot of the secondary summoners here.
I feel like we've seen a shift back to that exhausting Lucian sort of meta that we had when Lucian Nami was a big thing. If he dashes up to you and wants to unload his burst combo, compared to other
jangan samakan Nico Keria dengan Nico lain, bro. Nico Keria mengeri, bos.
Already has forced Smash and Korea under tower, still level 1. And that Mystic, wow. Like a curved around the minion.
Yeah. Faker does love to use the egg to be very aggressive and say, you can't kill me.
Showmeki doesn't have an egg. And he's at the same HP as Faker right now, so definitely a little dangerous. Does have a ward that just spotted Owner at Raptors, so he has information there.
Ezreal legal tempo.
I wonder Owner could have an angle to
Bisa.
sneak in and get a
Justru
gank on
biasanya
mid if
itu
he
gak
looks for
sih?
it, but I think he might just go for the full clear.
Soalnya ada Sion juga. Mungkin dia mau bikin botrek.
See that Lucid is 5-0 on the Jarvan. A lot of success there, but not
On
so
hit
much
Ezreal.
here. Smash getting bullied out of lane already. One root comes down and Smash is not able to play the game.
I think this is the difference between an Ezreal Nico with Pays and Carrier compared to other Ezreal Nikos we've seen. We've definitely had some of them really struggled. Skill shots haven't connected, the pressure hasn't been there. Particularly against enchanters who can kind of sustain a good amount of your poke. If you're not reliably hitting it, it just gets negated by the shields of Milio, for example.
Biasanya Kongku biar sustain nggak sih?
Putting down the pain.
Nggak harus Kongku juga. Lihat musuhnya aja. Kalau lawan tank enak kali main lethal. Biar bisa main on hit.
Faker still trading aggressively, but it does look like Showmaker was able to heal up a little bit.
That's one of the annoying things with that fight. So I'm trying to recall, I'm just getting interrupted again and again and again. Does get a TP in now, though.
There's a lot of wards that are spotting Owner all around the map.
They did a good job of tracking him. Not letting the Vi necessarily get off some early ganks. Just throw a control ward down there, so we'll see if Lucid gets spotted on that later. Gets spotted there by Owner. By Doran, sorry.
Nice trade here from Smash. It's kind of what you have to do. You can't just sit back and get poked out by Ezreal Nico and kind of just lose the lane
Kalau
that
di
way.
LoL PC mah Milio masih sering dipakai ya. Di Wing Rip kayaknya dilupakan deh Milio, guys. Siapa yang pakai Milio di Wing Rip?
Pays just pick this one up, but you know, able to get a long sword, able to do a bit more
Siapa yang
damage
pakai
here in the
Milio di
lane.
Wing Rip?
Certainly going to help out.
Champion terlupakan ini.
Yeah, Carrier went for a confident buy with the Amp Tome. Didn't get a refillable, so is forced to reset here. And is now looking for a play mid. They've spotted Lucid. Hard to punish a Jarvan in this situation, though.
Just a bit of punching each other. Hey, I used that emote.
The Mundo one?
Yeah. With the two little batons? I don't even really know what he's holding.
Well, I'm sure we'll
You would
see
think
it
they would be
again.
cleavers, but
I'm sure we'll see it again during this game. And we can assess
maybe.
it.
Some of our players like to emote more than others.
I do love the Canyon with the scared Yumi. We've seen a good amount. That's been a bit of classic.
Or Rich with the sad Bumblebee.
Dibiarin mati padahal kalau war setim gak bisa di pick up siapa-siapa gara-gara Milio.
Here up in the top side, but mostly just trading under right outside the turret as the ult comes out from Shu, but the dash
Tapi emang kalau di PC Milio skillnya bagus sih. Shu hampir solo kill.
By Doran. And once again, the Ambessa not finding too much luck early on.
Yeah, and that's considering Doran had more item, like gold value in his inventory. It's a Coalfields against Bramble Vest. Obviously, the Bramble Vest great in this matchup, but not really a good omen. Obviously, we see Ambessa really spike on that one item, but she was just doing a good job of soaking up the damage, being ready with the shield, and able to turn the trade around.
Lucid not very much enjoying Namibia, but
kagak bisa maju.
Storm coming in and now Faker
Ada dua storm.
in the enemy jungle.
Faker.
Not where he wants to be.
Unkillable Demon King.
Yeah, also Namibia
Gak
doesn't
kena
walk well,
anjing
so
Q-nya,
to
Cok. How?
Faker flapping his wings, flying through the enemy
Kepes,
jungle.
kepes lu gak ada flash.
Still
Anjir.
flying
Cok,
through the
kena
enemy
Q.
base.
Nice.
Wasting a lot of time.
He's getting to owner.
Yeah,
I think he lives.
Lah.
There's no ult from Shiwu.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck do you mean?
He had no mana after that.
What do you mean he's safe?
Meanwhile, she
What
is
do you mean
here.
he's safe?
It's going to be the smash that does come down onto owner. And back is coming
Dua
in
jump
from
scare.
Faker. He
Hey,
is going to go in for
nice.
sure. And I think even after all the shenanigans,
Ya di heal.
the Anivia Faker will not survive. First blood does go over to Lucid after whatever that was.
That was a very extended.
Tapi itu wasting time sih. Faker successfully wasting everyone time. Nice.
But a big chase.
What a
that does
chat.
eventually get rewarded with not only the kill on Faker but the egg.
He
does take
successfully
platinum.
wasting everyone time.
So that's something.
Sasuga. Ini gua harus lihat chatnya sih. Pasti chatnya rusuh ini.
Yeah, a bit chaotic.
Where's the chat?
Yeah, just that weird play.
Chatnya menghilang.
And
Aku pengen melihat orang-orang ngeping Faker.
down there on the bottom side of the map. Unless you did have a respawn. But no Drake gonna be coming in here.
I feel like we've had so many ebb and flows in this bot lane.
Iya, main MOBA malah main manuk anjir.
The momentum. Korea get chunked out heavily here. I think it just shows how volatile this matchup can be. Oh, no, now looking for Lucid.
I mean, Lucid could maybe try to smite that and get away, but he's not going to stick around. There's no pry on mid, none in bot. And Owner says, you know what? I'll take the dragon too.
Yeah, I just don't think you want to get stuck in melee range against a Vi. Especially as the bot lane had prio, Faker's moving as well. They have complete control in this area. So it should be a pretty free pickup of this dragon.
Yeah, kind of just picking that one up without a hitch. We do have Ocean Drake on the way next.
Skinnya Tion kapan ya? Bulan depan nggak sih harusnya?
Carry is just
Next
being
month.
annoying, trying to stop backs and all that. Doran seems like he's doing just fine up in the top side. Yes, he did have to flash, but he's almost got that back. And Ambessa, before her first item, not exactly super strong anyways.
Faker Galio ya?
Eventually he'll get there.
Yeah.
Yellow, I wanna see Faker Galio chat.
Korea?
Okay.
Keria?
Pop Blossom as Keria kind of gets
Keria is
baited into a
trolling.
wonky spot. Flash available for Smash. They can maybe, you know, Keria kind of with the weird
Okay,
play.
that's
maybe
not
he's
the
baiting or
Keria we
something there.
know.
Just gonna hold on to it.
That's different.
Korea just really baited that one out. I think Carrier was just thinking, we've seen so many supports die trying to hold waves. It's been kind of a common trait of some of our LCK supports. But using it there to bait in Carrier, getting the flash from him and the ultimate. puts him in a good spot. Do you see? Oh,
Showmeki get caught. Nice stun. Nice stun. Nice stun. Nice stun. Nice stun. Owner died. Let's go! Owner just throw the game. Terima kasih, Agent Owner. I see that coming. I see that coming.
The damage. Korea being there was a phenomenal roam timing.
Agent Owner back at it again.
Also, you look at the inventories of Owner and Faker. Faker actually has 0 AP apart from the Doran's ring. Like, he's got 18 AP. He's just all mana and health, and I know that Anivia has decent base damage.
Aswalt lagi palingan soalnya ini skin bakal spesial. Iya, gue juga hype sih, penasaran sih skinnya gimana sih yang Galio.
So just a bit of an over-aggressive play.
Skin Choppy kapan? Nggak tahu tuh.
Help.
Anjay. Owner feeling like you, anjir 320 gold tuh. That's a lot, bro.
By queuing in and then ulting, you're not getting your Q damage.
Nice stun sih by Showmaker.
Already in the tower.
Showmaker nice stun.
And Showmaker with a good response. Unfortunately, bot lane still suffering for D+.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot bigger of a lead than we've seen from Ezreal, Nikos.
I think Did's gonna apologize.
No, I don't think so.
To Ezreal and or Nico.
Watch the replay on the trade in top lane.
Yeah, looks like Doran had to flash again. Does now have the Eclipse, which obviously is a big spike, but struggling into Shiwu's Scion, which is impressive considering I feel like for a good time early on in Shiwu's career in the LCK,
itu skill 1 mil buat champion death ngeselin banget masuk ke dorong. Laningnya juga enak sih, healnya gacor.
I feel like he's been building up his repertoire of tanks he can play comfortably, and Scion is looking good right now.
Carry per itemnya anti heal tuh tumben.
Yeah, I mean Scion is just gonna stand there, and we'll see what kind of engages and stuff he can do later on in the game.
Doran sih ambesnya bukan kaleng-kaleng ya.
Making life a little bit more annoying for Shiu. And now Lucid actually engaging here, but Owner wants to continue on this as there's Gravity Field and there's the Cataclysm Flash, but Lucid is going to be kept around as now the Flash comes forward.
What the fuck, Owner? Oh my god, Owner.
Yeah, T1 committing heavily. Oh,
bro, Owner just lost his ult for nothing.
Carrier is on the way, but the culling is going to be thrown out. Smash is like, yeah, I'm not so sure about going into that river.
Good exhaust value from Pays. I think Smash was waiting for Pays to commit some more mobility before he used the culling. I thought I'll just send it, gets exhausted, isn't able to do that much more. I think the mid play was a bit weird though, Lucid committing very heavily when it was like, well of course Anivia is going to move there and then you're going to struggle to get out.
Yeah, Faker still not doing damage. It feels like he goes for these trades and he deals damage to himself.
I mean, this is a very slow scaling Anivia build. This is like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have
siram gak sih sejujurnya?
Eventually, I'm gonna be strong.
My honest reaction is siram gak sih?
18 AP and no magic pen.
Okay, well Doran trying to buffer his way out of that one. Does get the plate for all of his trouble. And again, not really a lot of, yeah, that barrier's not gonna get him on his back.
Lagi ngantuk kan dia. Owner, nggak tahu dah. Biasanya tidak gitu. Oh, Siu, you have flash. Lah.
Yeah, I think a bit too much health.
Nobal Siu ah. Gak laki.
Get the recall off actually this time. And Smash gets Essence Reaver, which is honestly big for the Lucian because I feel like so often you're gated by your mana. No longer going to be a problem. More likely going to be gated by your health after you get hit by 17 skill shots in a row.
Yeah.
Monokotil.
I feel like Pays and Carrier kind of been on fire
here
now.
No balls, no balls.
There. Doesn't make his way in, but isn't able to find it.
And it's a Chemtech Soul again.
Alright. I've seen this game before, guys.
Really get any value out of that. He's gonna find himself
I've seen this before. EK winning the early game
Lucid kind of just
until they not.
I mean, Chemtech Soul with a Scion would be kind of crazy on best.
I've seen this before.
But yeah, it's no Hex Tech. Smash getting some good damage on this tower. Now seeing it's D+'s bot lane who'll have the pressure here. And I feel like you know, top lane, Shu's been doing a great job. Mid lane, Showmaker's had the pressure advantage. Bot lane has been pacing carrier. But it feels like Smash is trying to turn around, find the opportunity to do so. Once again, we get Korea recalling and walking up towards the top side. But no one really there as of yet for him to support. Just getting some vision down. And does find carrier very aggressively in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, some deep wardage there. But
Oke, fight sih. DK harus fight sih. Mereka strong sih. Herald sih gelut sih. They have lead. They cannot let the Rift Herald go. Come on.
In game 2, let's see if DK
Come on, DK, you have lead. You need to take the Herald.
Much earlier compared to game 1.
So they're moving Shu down. I think if they really want
Doran
to
no TP, Doran no TP. Ya ini 4 versus 4.
Given that Doran just TP.
Oh, Carrier. Carrier just got caught. Carrier no flash.
And they do force Carrier out.
Okay,
Flash
Carrier no
gone
flash.
already. Makes it definitely tricky to contest. Some good damage there onto Pays. Does answer back though.
Yeah, it's very aggressively taking over that position on the Rift Herald, so it does mean that T1 has to back away from the objective.
I think both teams just kind of feeling each other out in this one.
And now here we go once again.
Tidak baik, Cak.
But Lucid is here as well.
Okay. Oh, honor mati. I see that. Carrier no flash. Paris. No flash. Go. Nice. Yes. I see that. Faker triple. Oh, tidak. Oh, oke. Bisa. Go. Terus. Terus Faker no flash. Triple kill. Oh, ya nyampah anjing.
Very nicely played by Showmaker and career again.
Triple kill itu, Cok.
So well played from Showmaker there to put down the stun as the Anivia was going to come back from the egg to get the timing to get the last kill. And he is just possessed right now on this pick, getting so much damage down across that fight. The Deathfire touch and the Blackfire torch combo just burning all of T1 who try to contest him. It was a bit of a weird setup.
Tersampah. Ini Ambessa final world cuma 1 game doang. Carry pakai Ambessa, sisanya nge-throw.
The damage to follow up just wasn't really there, and then Carrier kind of just face check. They will try and set up on this Herald now.
Have you seen Doran Ambessa in split 1, dude?
We do see them move over to respond. Remember, no flashes on Owner or Carrier.
Yeah, this seems very aggressive from the side of T1. I'm not sure if you get away with this, but they are going to find Career, who is now basically not a champion owner. Going to get the Rift Herald's kill. Did not get the eye just yet. Shu trying to frontline here. It looks like T1, they're just going to not get the eye.
They can't approach. And
so no one get that. Wait, lose it. Itu. Bunuh. Anjing.
There it is. Picks it up, uses it immediately. Trying to get into the action Herald. It's going to miss the ult, but now losing in an awkward spot.
Okay, nice.
And both the
Nice. Fight. No one has flash. Fight.
By the Rift Herald, who is just
Fight. Gak punya flash itu. Anjing Doran. Anjing. Cok, dibantai Doran, Cok. Triple kill, Cok. Fuck.
Showmaker now all alone, trying to just poke out
Showmeki. Showmeki.
Even Doran now getting pretty
low.
Oh,
nice.
At least able to get that kill, but a stun
Fuck.
Showmaker.
Anjing.
Out from Nico from Carrier. And it's going to turn it in favor of T1.
Absolute cinema.
Pulling magic out of nowhere with that team fight that honestly it felt like they had no right really to win.
Absolute cinema.
Showmaker being so strong, T+ having control of the area. And I mean the big factors here, the biggest factor is honestly just Doran. He goes for this crazy play to pick up the eye that honestly just seemed a bit suicidal. It was
Itu
like
Nico terbang dari mana,
but his
Cok?
plan was obviously the combat
Oh,
herald.
fuck.
But they get chunked out heavily. Ona ends up dying before the herald even gets played. But like the value that Doran ends up getting, he doesn't initially grab the herald. He actually waits for
Ambessa Doran emang jago sih. Top 3 lah Ambessa Doran. Top 3 in the world Ambessa Doran.
So he gets Smash, then he gets Scion, then he gets Milio. Then he gets smash again. He hits him twice and then just instantly cleans up the bot lane, which did so much for T1 in this fight.
Nggak, Nico dari mana anjir?
I'm dead.
The fuck is that?
And the timing.
Maaf, paket katanya. Ngomong apa dia, Cok?
The timing from Carrier on the ult was just perfect. You can even see like the animation didn't line up.
Top 1 siapa? Kin lah. Gak ada user Ambessa paling lebih kuat dari Kin, Cok. Tidak ada makhluk di dunia ini yang bisa ngalahin Kin melawan Ambessa. Pakai Ambessa.
Yeah, and Carrier has flash now. Did he have flash at the start of that play? Because it just seems kind of crazy. They committed so heavily to him. If he hadn't out that whole time.
Kin mas semua top lane champ jago lah. Kamu tidak tahu kelemahannya Kin.
Yeah, his flash is up. So this seems super aggressive to commit this play.
Jaice. Kin itu Jaice-nya bagusan Doran sih. Kalau adu Jaice Doran bisa lawan Kin lah. Kalau soal Jaice bagusan Doran.
You know, thinking about how they've already lost game 1 and they feel the pressure to make proactive plays.
See a pretty massive gold lead here for Doran, who, you know, you got that first item now, you have second item Black Cleaver.
Masih jago bin lah. Enggak, Cok, jagoan Doran.
Eventually in this lane, but also picked up a couple of those kills in that last fight.
Zeus boleh lah, Zeus.
Getting a bunch of plates, so very far ahead in terms of gold. T1 looking for Chemtech soul points. Just right now, Lucid is already chunked out a little bit. Culling comes down and a bit of a zoning wall is there. Lucid could have tried to walk forward, but not going to quite get it as Ambessa in a lot of trouble here. But
oh my god, Nico lagi!
Doran is going to survive. They
Nico
get
itu lagi, Cok.
Career getting pretty low. Pays takes him out. Pays jumps forward.
Okay, Showmeki. Lucid, do something, Lucid! Lucid, do something! Lucid!
And DK not really able to pick up more off the back of this play.
Lucid aura farm.
Yeah, T1 playing that very aggressively, and I think Doran and Pays need
apalah Lucid ngapain? Oke, never mind. Nice, pengalihan isu. Nice bait. Nice bait.
Now he has omelet, I guess.
Nice bait, Lucid.
Try and take this mid lane tower. Will succeed at it.
Ini kayak dukung mana? Showmaker lah. Showmaker. Nice bait though, nice bait, Lucid.
Around for a bit too long afterwards, and a lot of people being very over-aggressive. This fight doesn't start off particularly well for T1 because Doran ends up kind of getting focused down quite heavily. You know, he TP's in, gets cataclysmed on the stun, and then just loses all of his HP. And
orang main Jarvan kok bisa kelihatannya kayak malas main ya? Like, bro, throw some flag.
We see Ona
do something. You know? Where's the flag? Flagnya mana flagnya?
And then this is where it gets a bit weird because Faker is looking
nice
for
bait
Lucian
though.
here, but against like a Lucian and a Victor who have high enough range just to immediately reach you. That play felt very dangerous.
Yeah, and he found out why very quickly after that.
I think maybe if you flash the Jarvan combo and like just kill him after that, that could have been the angle he was going for, but I think as soon as you get knocked up, you're just dead.
Yeah, perhaps a mistiming on the play. Either way, the rest of the team was backing away, and he was kind of just going in there trying to take down Lucid, who was low. So, not really a good play at the end of the day. Pays very fed, though. Does look like Smash is really trying to pressure him as much as possible.
Dimakan semua tuh skillnya. Kejar! Oh, Smash! Smash is Pays' father.
This is what Lucian does just so well, is
oh my god, Smash, my god.
Whether it's your Nami or your Milio, and anyone who tries
the bot diff is huge.
Is under threat.
Apa ini Doran? Oh, nak lawan Doran, nah. Goodbye, Doran. Bye, Doran. Bye, Doran. Cok, Ambessa apa sih anjing? Kagak mati-mati, Cok. Yot.
Just feels like D+ are struggling really hard to cut through Doran right now. He's so bulky, so much survivability. Showmeki even gets a great Rocket Belt usage. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Rocket Belt perhaps being overbought in some champions.
Itu champion apa lah?
But I think this was definitely a spot where Showmeki got the value, and a game where having that Rocket Belt goes a long way. This is when Smash put out Pays. You know, Pays sees Lucid, so he has to angle downwards and just ends up getting jumped, especially with the flash from Smash. Now here, Showmaker's dodge onto the
That was free, chat. He's supposed to die lah. What do you mean he survived that?
This extended play.
What do you mean?
I feel like having the Lucian there would have made a lot of difference, but
What do you mean he survived?
Kind of after the fact, and is able to put some damage in a Faker, but that's really his only contribution.
Yeah, doesn't end up doing a whole lot. We've had a bunch of kills in this one. Already up to 21.
Think about how strong the Ambessa, how tanky she's been. It's a minute until potential Chemtech Soul. I feel like that may be a substantial issue if you want to able to get it. Also, interestingly, we have the Gluttonous Greaves.
Gak mati-mati kocak.
From
Shieldnya.
Smash and Pays.
Not glutinous.
No,
gluten-free?
These are the gluten-free versions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Soalnya apa? Chemtech.
Gluten-free Greaves coming through from Pays and Smash. For extra Omnivamp.
Lebih ngeselin lagi tuh Ambessa shieldnya. Terus Chemtech.
I mentioned Smash will be pretty close to having them capped out.
Yeah. And we're really just doing a lot of posturing here for this Chemtech Soul as we're flashing right out the Smash. The follow-up is there from the side of Carry.
Okay. Showmeki carry. Lucid is a fraud. Come on, Siwoo. So.
Also, there's the Anivia also. She was like, man, why am I playing Sion? Public execution does come in.
Okay, Showmeki carry. Angkara Showmeki carry. Tidak. Ambessa bullshit. Ambessa Jeffen bullshit. Anjir, maksudnya apa itu shieldnya, Cok?
And the damage out of Pays right now is
Maksud lo apa shieldnya sebanyak itu, anjing?
The zombie Sion can do all he wants, but it's just gonna be T1 winning the fight. And they get the Chemtech Soul.
And this is why T1 went for this sort of composition. Ona, he might be 0-6-7, but he ults in onto this short-range 80 carry, and he does his job. He will go down, but he sets up Carrier for the follow-up. They explode Smash before he really gets a chance to contribute. Pays even gets that cleanup onto the Jarvan, and then the blocking.
Oh, Sionnya nabrak tembok. Sionnya kejedot, anjir.
This is one of the issues with this composition from D+, is that you only have 2 carries.
Iya, Sion counternya Anivia, Cok.
Showmeki is trying to do everything he can, but they just put all
Counternya
their focus
Sion tuh.
on him.
Yeah.
And he can't 1v4.
And in an even game, when you're playing against Vi, and Nico, and one of your carries just gets blown up like that. Like, if T1 ever get a good setup on a fight, that's what they're going to try to do every time. It just feels like kind of a done deal from that Vi pick. And that is going to be Chemtech Soul. So, they already couldn't kill Doran.
Ini mah Showmaker main sendiri, kocak.
And Chemtech Soul. So,
oh man, that's
you're never
top lane aing ngapain aja ya sepanjang match ya?
He's way out of position and you have a lot
Siwoo?
of time and the rest of the team doesn't come over.
I think Death Stance is the item.
What is Siwoo doing entire match, honestly?
Even though it's not been changed really, and we've had all these new items and items reworked and things changed, and everyone was like, oh, Static Shiv's gonna be super broken, and then it hasn't been. Death Stance have just seen like a reliable group of people being like, man, I hate this item. And you know what? I get it. I feel like we're about to see that on display when Doran dives into 5 members of D+, and they just cannot kill him.
Yeah.
That feels like the state of the game right now. Would you see Smash working towards his presumably LDR? I mean, honestly, it could be Mortal Reminder with the amount of healing that is going to come through from Doran. But Doran is level 18, by the way, as well.
Yeah. And you can go to level 20 now. So he's got some more room on top of that. See level 17 here. And they're gonna engage
Gak ngurang, Cok, nyawanya si Doran, anjing.
I don't think that's gonna work, guys. I don't think that's
what
the play.
Do you mean?
The Cataclysm and Culling is used. And T1 just says no.
Full damage, BTW.
I guess we're maybe just trying to fish for something, maybe try and force Doran's flash in that situation, but ultimately don't really get anything from it.
Aduh, ya Doran
really
MVP sih.
huge to play for right now on the back of those cooldowns, but with Eldraine closing in on 4 minutes, a little bit less than, definitely a concern. Smash picks up the Mortal Reminder, so 4-item Lucian is strong, to be fair, but him being able to survive and function these team fights is the concern.
Iya, udah ada Chemtech. Gimana cara killnya?
I think we're already focusing.
Gak ada yang bisa berhentiin Doran.
You know, the effect of the Seeker's Arm Guard is that
Kayaknya ulti Jarvan simpen deh sampai Doran ulti deh. Doran ulti baru tuh kurung.
There's a lot of pressure on Smash. You know, his boy Reckless is here watching. And besides that, he's playing against one of the best bottom lane duos.
Showmaker ini kenapa gak pindah aja, kasihan lihat dia solo carry dari musim kemarin. Masalahnya dia kayak maskotnya DK gitu loh. Dia kan menang World di DK.
From 60% health.
Dah, kalah. Smash mati ini.
Like you just can't do anything. Doran has a gigantic shield from the TP, and I don't think they're even going to get through that. I just don't see it happening as the flash comes in. Showmaker able to rocket belt over the right side, and that at least is going to get him to safety. But it just feels like
masih aman, masih bisa.
Even that far behind on gold, it just doesn't matter.
This setups.
Late game sakit Anivia apa Victor? Sakit Victor sih.
Doesn't get to play the game, doesn't get to press his summoners, just gets exploded. And you lose.
Ini Ambessa, di carry Ambessa itu cu burung. Faker di carry Doran anjir.
Showmaker can't do enough. He is fed, he is strong in his own rights, but can he kill 5 members of T1, including this incredibly hard to deal with Ambessa? Well, the answer is definitely no. And I think, even though it's not a major gold lead, with how these fights have been going, it just seems so hard.
Yeah.
This is a great angle from Carrier looping in from behind. The TP coming through as well. Ult on a smash, Pop Blossom. The ult from the Ezreal does so much damage as well. Yeah, bit of a tough one. And then Doran's
slow dari ulti kan nama Dingding. Dingding mah lebih ke itu sih. Ada ngegeser gitu, bukan CC. Jadi kalau ada Dingding karakter kita kegeser gitu. Sama bisa ngalangin movement juga kan.
It's kind of ridiculous. And probably going for GA next here with that BF sword. And yeah, T1, I mean, again, you know, we talked about the gold lead. The gold number doesn't matter. The Chemtech Soul, the last couple of team fights really just shows how DK don't have a way to play this game. You know, maybe if they were a little bit farther ahead and they were able to poke them out with the culling and, you know, they had a bit more vision coverage so they're not getting flanked by an eco, perhaps. But that's not the way this game has been playing out.
Yeah, it feels really hard to keep tabs on members of T1. Carrier's been doing a great job of finding angles to get behind, so when the Vial comes in, he's just always there to follow up. But that's what G-Plus have to do. I mean, the gold lead isn't insane, and as much as Chemtech Soul is very good with the Ambessa, it's not the strongest soul in the game. This game isn't unwinnable, especially because Elder's on the cards. The problem is they don't have control of the Elder area. They now have to push in aggressively to contest, and when you push in quickly and aggressively, it sets up flanks to happen. Now, they are looking for Owner here.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of damage done to Pays and Owner. Owner has to flash away, so that's potential engage button taken away with the flash at least. Doran says, well, I'm going to
Doran is here. Dia masih ada ulti sih. Oke, ultinya miss. Panis, kejar. Sion, go. Go, kill Doran. Smash. Nice. Doran.
Both top laners are taken out in the trade.
Siu. Okay, top lane trade. Not bad.
They're consistent engage. We've seen them find a recall stop as well. They can try to get back in with the TP.
Doran dead.
The ones who control this
winnable.
For more. They want to try and find Vi.
Elder.
Again
is flanking round behind. They spotted him.
Oh, Keria is here.
Find him. No Cataclysm though.
Ketahuan. Keria ketahuan.
Unfortunate. That would have been a big pick to at least get him down. His flash is not up, so could have been big.
I feel like they had the presence they needed, and they
Alamak, itu
pushed
support
out again
gua.
really
Okay.
quickly. They can't give this up though. They need to push back in. Both top laners have TP. and the ability to rejoin once they respawn. But that
Okay, Smash. What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, they have
Lucid
to
is
get in
here.
Lucid,
maju Lucid.
looks like
Now
he
or
is
never
going to be
Lucid.
the one that goes in
Lucid,
with the
maju
first
Lucid!
shot. They all got
Lucid!
and again, he just dies, trades his life for the Nico, and the damage is just way too much out of Pays. Goes forward after Lucid goes in, and is just able to clean everybody up. Gonna get the GA out of Lucid.
Lucid kenapa sih main Jarvannya gitu banget
So at the end of the day,
anjing?
she was just left by his lonesome. Will take a while to go down, but T1 will clean up the fight and look to push to end.
Why Lucid play like that,
Chat?
chat?
Has been Doran, but the coordinated engages from Carrier and Ona have just kind of been spectacular. Ona, who, his KDA wasn't looking so pretty before, but he's doing his job every time. It's like Ona engages and Carrier's there to follow, or Carrier engages and Ona's there to follow, and the end result is Smash doesn't get to play the game.
Apa sih? Apa sih?
He actually does do a good job of
Apa
that. He is,
sih?
of course, going to die.
Ih.
And there was one cannon minion, actually, that did survive.
Nice try, nice try, nice try. Next game, next game, next game.
As Faker is going to zone away Smash. Smash hops over the wall. And they will just attack the Nexus and take it down. It's a clean 2-0 from T1
jungle-nya
tonight.
kenapa ya?
As they get revenge against T+K.
Nice try
And I feel
though.
like we're kind of following that trend of 2-0s, but I think T1 honestly have been a bit of a culprit of ensuring that because they seem
Jungle-nya
to just be a lot
kenapa
more
ya?
locked in. People always talk about the circus, always talk about, having the happy games. We're not really getting them at the moment from T1. They are just dominating right now in their recent matches. Very clean, very coordinated, maybe reeling a little bit of that tight game. that they
Ketik
lost against
MVP
T-Plus
siapa?
last
Gak boleh
time.
ngecit.
It feels like the team is coming together really well.
Ketik MVP siapa?
And
No
Doran,
cheat, no cheat.
I think was a big talking point in both games. The Ambessa absolutely popping off in some of those fights, and the Yorick too, obviously in game one. But Owner and Carrier, I just think were just of one mind whenever they were looking for Smash.
Lucid.
Synced it up so well.
Yeah. Owner looked very happy. Faker's like, yeah, I did my job today. Just another day at the office. Pays as well. Going to feel pretty happy about the way that game number 2 especially did go. Had a good Ash game as well. Carry
Tahu ini match hari ini jujur online aja sih. I think today's match is supposed to be online match, honestly.
Show off your stuff a bit more on the
We don't even need to be here.
Very solid. Got some big ults comboing with
Sejujurnya.
Ona. And I think we kind of started our season questioning the form of some of our former top teams, T1, Gen.G, with a big
Setara, you just play online match, honestly.
And with KT kind of falling off in terms of form, it's shaking things up quite drastically. Especially as now, given that T1 were already ahead of D+, the lead will have just been massively opened up. The game score difference
Top div sih, top div parah sih. Siwu really not exist in the game though.
It's going to make it really hard because now D+ are 2 series behind and have like a huge game score discrepancy. I think it's going to be +9 difference between them now.
Yeah, let me take a look at the numbers actually. They're in here somewhere. Yeah, it was +8 for T1 before this game and +3 for DK. So now it's +10 versus +1.
Yeah, so +9 game score difference, 2 series difference, really solidifying T1's position in the standings. And with how they're playing, definitely feels understandable. Showmaker on this Victor really tried to make things happen. And to be fair, I say Showmaker on this Victor, I think Smash did everything he could as well. I just don't think that
Smash did his best, honestly.
There's just not much he could have done in this situation.
Yeah.
He was on Carrier and Owner's list, and it was not the nice list.
Lucid datang mukulin Watt, terus dia mukulin Watt, kagak usah, lu udah ketahuan lu ada di situ, kocak, ngapain ciuman sama Watt, anjir Jarvan gua, cok.
Really just sets it up.
Ngapain sih, udah ketahuan lu ada di situ, kak, ngapain dia mukulin Watt?
Smash just couldn't get away.
My Jarvan.
Also,
udah ketahuan, lu ngapain mukulin Watt, anjing.
You don't get it.
저
They're just kind of joking around. Like, they're just having a great time.
It's fun that even though the gameplay is very serious, the vibes are still good.
astaga.
I'm not sure what Carrier wanted, but he didn't get it. And he wasn't super happy about
Cok,
it.
damage-nya di bawah Carrier aja.
6,000. So I think he must have
Owner juga
not
deh.
quite hit what he needed.
Tapi Doran sih, MVP Doran sih.
Apologizing to him.
Ya, Doran.
Unfortunate for Showmaker, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, you're a victor by yourself, basically. As Doran gonna pick
It's
up
a
his
free
first
Doran
POM
MVP.
and very
There you
much
go.
deserved after this series here. Excellent New York game. Found out that he could play that pretty well into the Rumble. And then is Mbessa, kind of a free lane against the Scion, and showing that Mbessa can actually win.
To give over
Biasanya
the
split
Rumble,
2 berapa pekan, Bang?
and then not only kind of winning the game, but he just
Like
manhandled
7?
you, was very impressive. So huge from Doran there. I think that first game kind of put him in line to be a POM. The Mbessa was massive as well.
Yeah, big series here from T1. I'm going to hand
7
it over to
week.
Deer for the translation of the interview.
Thank you so much. This is Deer for the POM interview translation, joined by Doran on the side of T1. The fans are
Oke
absolutely
guys,
loving it.
ntar
And
gue
with
live
that win,
lagi
you have
jam
secured 8 wins so far. How do you feel?
6.
It's
Jam
been
6 kita
so
nonton
long since I
Jepang
got a
lawan
POM.
GAM ya.
And I'm just as happy as my
Oke,
fans
jangan don't
are.
forget to follow my
Just
Twitter,
like you mentioned, this is your first
Don't forget to
POM.
follow my Twitter.
And it hasn't been shown yet.
Yang
but
belum
this was
follow,
an
yang udah follow
unanimous
silakan
POM.
like.
So you must feel even
Thank you.
greater. How do you feel?
Bro, Yorick di geng malah ngekill Ambesanya thanking everything Doran.
I've been working really hard for this
Doran terlalu
moment.
OP ternyata.
So are you happy with your performance
Thank
today?
you, bye bye.
The games flowed really smoothly the way we wanted it to be.